we are you were talking about building a strong immunity, no, dahil everywhere may virus nga. So here in New Image, we're so lucky that we have, this very powerful drink that we do every day or drink every day, yung colostrum nga, that helps build our immunity. So immunity, for digestion, and then it's also good for repair. Okay, Doc. Ano yung science behind that? Ano yung, you as a doctor, what can you say about colostrum? Why is it good for our immune system?
We have to accept the fact that there are many Filipinos, not only Filipinos, but everywhere in the world, who have comorbidities, Miss Cynthia. A lot of people out there have diabetes, have blood pressure problems, have kidney problems. We know a lot are undergoing dialysis. A lot of women have tumors in their breasts. A lot of men have also other tumors in the lungs, in the liver, and other parts of the body, with immune system problems as well. There's a very popular actress who was a daughter, who has an immune system problem. There's a lot of people out there who are sick. Now, they have to rely so much on medication, but many doctors forget that aside from the medication, they have to give something to boost the natural defense of the body. And this is where a product like a colostrum drink can work and help. Nature has intended it to be that colostrum is produced by the mother on the first few weeks or first few days after giving birth. And that is the one that is being given to the newborn. Now, this newborn is going to receive antibodies that are in the colostrum. Now, antibodies are the ones that fight antigens or the one that causes diseases. So, colostrum is very important for people who needs to boost their immune system because it contains the antibodies like nature intended it to be. It is a very good antioxidant. It is a very good anti-inflammatory, but at the same time, it helps our gut, our intestine, metabolism, where the fight with the bacteria and the viruses happen. So for people out there, if one is sick with a comorbidity, it is very important that you are taking a good product like colostrum. If one is not sick, but you just want prevention because you cannot afford to get sick, you are the breadwinner in the family, you are alone in the world, then you need also a protection. And that colostrum may be able to give you.
How do we take colostrum kung infected ka na? Ilang dosage ang recommended mo?
Well, for me, as fluid is very important. Now, we can take ordinary water, plain water, but that is just taking a half of what our body needs. Now, why take an ordinary water if in that water we can dissolve a powder like colostrum? So you're already taking your fluid, but making that fluid a healthy fluid. So how often? More than 3 times per day. If you can take it like perhaps before breakfast, if you can take it again with your snack at 10 a.m. Remember, you are in isolation. You are sick. You're not doing anything. So might as well take a lot of these nutritional drinks. Take it again before lunch. Take it again at 3 or 4 p.m. Take it again before dinner. And then take another one at bedtime. So that's about 6 bottles or 6 glasses that you took in for the whole day. Now, don't worry about it. Remember, in 3 to 5 days' time, you'll be out of your room and out of your house.
Now, Doc, good news because aside from the colostrum that we drink, meron din tayong Immufort, with more immunoglobulins, And Chairman is
Yeah.
always saying na kapag yung Immufort, kasi para siyang tablet, di ba? Tablet siya, lalagyan mo sa mouth mo and then melt mo lang siya doon. It is absorbed directly by the capillaries, no, that's present in our mouth. Hindi na siya pumupunta sa digestive system natin. So, ano ibig sabihin nun, Doc? Bakit meron tayong colostrum na iniinom directly na pupunta sa digestive system? And why is it good that we have Immufort na diretso naman na-absorb ng capillaries natin, sa mouth natin? What's the difference?
Both are good and they work in different manner, no? Yung alpha lipid colostrum, by its virtue na it's alpha lipid coated, can withstand, the acidity in our stomach and absorption is maximized. However, yung nilalagay sa ilalim ng dila, I was able to try that, the Immufort as well. The good thing there is, most of the medications that doctors prescribe, when we want it to immediately enter the bloodstream, it has to be in the form of soluble under the tongue or sublingual treatment. So, this Immufort dissolves under the tongue, it mixes with the saliva, and then it is absorbed under the tongue where there's a lot of the capillaries, and within minutes, it enters already the bloodstream going to the heart. What's the good news there? When the heart pumps, it is already distributing all over the body the nutrition coming from Immufort.
Yes, Doc. Merong question dito si Shamina. A few clients will ask me, won't we overdose on all the nutrients six times a day? Kung masyado daw maraming colostrum na iniinom, baka may overdose.
No, I don't think so, no? First of all, it's natural, so you won't be overdosed with it. Secondly, I told you, you are in the recovery. You're trying to recover because you had fever, you had cough, you probably have the Omicron. So, you need a lot of armaments. Kailangan marami kang bala so that you'll be able to win the war against the virus. And after the 5 days that you're isolating, you can reduce it now to twice per day if you want it. So do not worry, won't overdose yourself.
Doc, what about the immune compromised individuals? We pretty much don't have the ability to build natural immunity against these viruses.
That is exactly true. No, there's a lot of people who are immunocompromised. Well, there's a lot of illnesses out there which are immune system illnesses like lupus or SLE. Some viruses can also cause immune system problem. When we are immunocompromised, like a person undergoing chemotherapy or dialysis, that means your body is so weak. Your body is not producing anymore the T cells and the B cells. Those are special cells. The T cells are like macrophages, They're like Pac-Man, they go around, they eat up all these foreign bodies. The B cells, they produce the antibodies so that when they see some chemicals that are hazardous to us, they neutralize these chemicals. But if you're immunocompromised, all your energy is used up in just trying to wake up, just trying to stand up or sit up or be awake. So you have no energy to produce all of these important cells. If you cannot produce it, you have to bring it in from the outside. Do you follow? You cannot produce it, so you need to get help. And that help will come from taking in a good nutritional product. Until the time comes when your body gains strength, recovers, and you produce your own antibody already. So, that's what you should do. When you are weak, you bring in the armaments for yourself.
May mga reports na nababasa tayo, no? Yung mga nagka-COVID before, they're saying na nagkakaroon sila ng heart problems after COVID, like 6 months after na nagka-COVID sila. Is that true? And how can we prevent that? Or ano yung makakatulong sa sa kanila for those who are affected by
Yes.
that.
Actually, that is true. I made a YouTube post on that. It is called long COVID. Long haul COVID. Now, there are people who are long haulers, no? These are the people who are probably weak. Or maybe they are not weak, but they got a lot of numbers of the viruses. Now, some of the viruses were killed, they died, but some, they remain dormant. Not really fully alive, but dormant, and staying in some of the organs. And while they stay in some of the organs, they affect the function of the organs. So some will stay in the lungs, some will stay in the heart, some will stay in the muscle, some will have brain fog. It stays in the brain. So they are long haulers. So these are the people who, even though they're negative already in their RT-PCR, they get tired so easily. Before they can jog, but after the COVID infection, they cannot jog anymore. They can just walk. You know, there are some people who can feel some pains in their chest. There are some people who are always confused and then they cannot focus well. These are long haulers. Now, these dormant, sleeping viruses must be eradicated. And the way to do that is to take in something that will fight these viruses. And eventually, our body will be able to recover. So, don't be sad, don't be depressed. Long haulers happen, about 20% of those who are infected with COVID. But eventually, if they take care of themselves, in 6 months' time, they are back to about 90%. They're normal.
Doc, aside from taking colostrum, makakatulong ba yung omega CoQ10 and pycnogenol, for their recovery?
Definitely. Most definitely. Like I always mention, nutritious products. Now, why do I like omega? Well, it is an unsaturated fatty acid. It will neutralize all these products that we order online, like when we order a lot of the ube pandesal, the leche flan, together with the lechon. We like lechon, and then people order not the whole lechon, They order only the lechon belly, or some are very proud that they are ordering cochinilla. Well, I'll be honest with you, Miss Cynthia, no matter what they say, Philippine statistics and other parts of the world as well, there are still more people who die from cardiovascular diseases than COVID infection combined. Truth. How many have died already from COVID in the 2 years' time? 32,000, 35,000 people. We're not downplaying it. We feel sorry for them. But how many people die from cardiovascular diseases? Not in 2 years' time, but every year. 80,000. So, there's still more people who need unsaturated fatty acid. They need to neutralize, the fats that we are eating. And next, why grapeseed? Why coenzyme Q10? Why all of these things? Because they are antioxidants. Antioxidants are the ones that fights free radicals. Resveratrol, why those things? Those free radicals are circulating in our air. Imagine this. How come there are many people who does not get out of their house? They have been in their house for the past 2 years. They are not exposed to other people except their relatives who are always there anyway, and yet they got the Omicron. Where did they get it? From the window? From the delivery? Because it is floating. It is floating as
Airborne.
a free radical. Yeah, it's there in the air. It's airborne.
Airborne, yeah.
There are many things that are airborne. We need a stop to those airborne things, including the free radicals. So, we need antioxidants.
Is it okay na mag-take ng colostrum ang dialysis patient at nagda-dialysis pa? At ilang beses?
I have always been asked that, no? Well, Luisa, let me set things straight. Dialysis patients have a maximum amount of fluid that they can take on a daily basis. It depends on their severity of illness and the doctors. 1 liter to 1.5 liter maximum per day. Now, that is water. I tell my patients, why would you want to drink ordinary water when you are already limited to 1 to 1.5 liter per day? So I would say, if you are allowed 1.5 liter per day, why don't you make 200 ml of that? At least colostrum to make it a healthy water. Now, people are afraid of milk in the dialysis patients because it is a protein which they think will clog up the kidneys some more. But that is where colostrum is different from ordinary milk. Ordinary milk have very big molecules. They can clog up the system. But colostrum has smaller molecules. They do not clog up the system. So dialysis patients will benefit much because they are prone to infection from taking colostrum, as long as it is within the boundary of the maximum fluid intake per day.
Dr. Bien, can colostrum cause calcification in the kidney?
Thank you, Romel. That's another question that I've always been asked.
Yes.
That happens when you are taking synthetic calcium. Synthetic calcium can also come from synthetic milk products. The beauty there is colostrum is not synthetic but natural product. So it does not cause a calcium stone formation.
Question: how could colostrum fight against an autoimmune disease?
Well, like I mentioned a while ago, Flora, when you say autoimmune, that means the body of the person cannot distinguish the enemy from itself. Ganun ang autoimmune. Like for example, it will eat up your own joints. Autoimmune yan. It will eat up your own blood cells. Autoimmune yan. Now, when you are taking in colostrum, you are protecting organs in your body because it is a good antioxidant. So you protect yourself from the autoimmune disease.
Where does colostrum come from?
I think it comes from New Image.
Maybe she's talking about yung colostrum natin. Saan galing? Maybe she's a guest or not a member yet.
From New Zealand. It comes from New Zealand. Okay, there are many, but I would recommend that you take the one that is scientifically proven, the alpha lipid type of colostrum, so that you get the best for your worth of money. And it comes from New Zealand.
Okay, don't dialysis patients have issues with too much calcium? I always suggest capsules instead of powder to dialysis clients.
Well, it's up to you, Sharmina. Well, you can suggest Imufort. It's up to you. What doctors do is we monitor the blood electrolyte level. We monitor the calcium, the potassium, the phosphorus, the sodium, and the chloride for dialysis patient. But that is for doctors who practices for these patients. But for non-doctors, well, if you want to use the sublingual Imufort, so much the better.
Pwede ba ang colostrum sa hypertension from Flora?
Again, yes, definitely. How? Aside from colostrum, alpha-lipid colostrum, we mentioned a while ago that we have the coenzyme Q10, we also have the omega. What happens in hypertension is not only is the blood pressure going up, there are many damages to the organ due to the hypertension. Do you know that? Do you know that hypertension can cause damage to the kidney so that it may result in dialysis? Do you know hypertension can cause explosion in the brain of the person, which can cause a stroke? Yeah. So there are many complications from hypertension. Your concern is not only to lower down the blood pressure. Your concern, Flora, should be to protect the organs. And your amlodipine and losartan will not do that. What you need is nutrition together with your antihypertensive medication. Yan ang sinasabi ni Sir Boyet kanina. Hindi na alternative yan kasi we're not alternating. We are complementing. And in
Correct.
Europe, we are functional medicine. Take your medication for high blood pressure, but take something that will protect your organs.
Doc Bien, ang colostrum ho ba ay pwede sa may sakit sa liver? Kasi mataas po ang protein.
Definitely
From liver.
nympha. Definitely nympha. You did not mention what kind ng sakit sa liver. Is it hepatitis? Well, hepatitis is caused by a virus. Colostrum helps in, controlling and fighting viruses. Is it cirrhosis of the liver? That is due to alcohol. That is due to fatty liver. So, the liver is a very important organ. It is our last bastion of defense. So, kailangan protektahan mo yung liver na yan. Doon papasok ang colostrum.
Some people have high immunity. How much colostrum is safe for them?
Nirmala, you're lucky if you have high immunity. That means you're a person like as Wonder Woman, people will shoot at you. You're like Matrix and the bullets just passes you. So, how will colostrum help you? Di mas mabuti. That means you can get stronger, You will live longer. Don't you want that? Don't you want to live longer? Not only that, let us say, living longer is not always your priority, but looking better. Don't you want that? Don't you want to look better, younger, with beautiful skin?
What is the most common cause of PCOS? Is alpha lipid lifeline colostrum capable of neutralization or healing?
What is the most common cause of PCOS? My reply to that is your mother. Because usually it is passed on from lola to nanay to the daughter. Ayan, PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It is not a disease actually, it is a syndrome. Kaya nga PCOS, syndrome yung dulo. Meaning, these people are not sick, but they have abnormalities in their body. Women will develop mustaches, beards, and then they have a lot of hair. They grow fat, they grow big, their blood sugar goes up. And what's sad there is, sometimes they're already 5-10 years married and they have difficulty getting pregnant. Yan ang PCOS. Now, how is it treated by doctors? Gynecologists will treat that with a contraceptive pill. That is not enough. The contraceptive pill supposedly will help balance the hormones para hindi masyadong mataas ang estrogen. But it does not help from you getting fat, getting a mustache, or having difficulty bearing children. So what do you need? You need something that will strengthen the ovary. And that is where colostrum can help. The prescription of your doctor.
Question. Hi there, Doc. I need to know if someone is using the colostrum and other products and they have diabetes and taking 4 different chronic meds. Do we continue the chronic meds and how do we stop it or taper it off? The person has no issues and is actually doing great. From BP.
Hi, BB. Well, first of all, if you are not a doctor, do not attempt to tell the person, stop na yung medicine or reduce that medicine. Because if something happens to the person, nagkaroon ng complication, ikaw ang masisisi. And usually, the relatives will get angry at you. However, in my practice, honestly, nababawasan ko ang medication of people. Like halimbawa, instead of 4, nagiging 2 na lang. Instead of 6 months, nagiging 2 or 3 months na lang yung kanyang medication. As long as I provide good nutrition with diet, exercise, and other advice as well. So it has to be guided by a doctor. Now, the beauty of taking colostrum together with a person with diabetes is this. Diabetes destroys a lot of organs. It destroys the brain, kaya na stroke. It destroys the kidney, kaya na kidney failure. It destroys the heart, kaya inaatake sa puso. It destroys the nerves, kaya namamanhid yung mga paa. It destroys the eyes, kaya nagkakaroon ng cataract and retinopathy. Even the hair is destroyed, kaya nagkaka-falling hair. So imagine that those things are not prevented by this anti-diabetic medication. So you need nutrition, and that is where colostrum can help.